Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about this content, data types in Python, functions in Python, exception handling in Python, and the program of guessing the number. Hello everyone, myself Kaushik, currently pursuing my studies in Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering. Firstly, let's discuss about data types in Python. Every value in Python has a data type. Since everything is an object in Python programming, data types are actually classes, and variables are objects of these classes. There are different types of data types in Python. Some of the important types of data types are listed below. Python numbers, Python list, Python tuple, Python strings, Python set, and Python dictionary. In Python, the data types are mainly classified into four types: numbers, boolean, strings, and collection. Under numbers, it is of three types: integers, floats, and complex. Under collection, it is of four types: list, tuple, set, and dictionary. Numeric data types in Python. The numeric data type in Python represents the data that has a numeric value. A numeric value can be an integer, a floating point number, or even a complex number. These values are defined as Python int for integers, Python float for floating point numbers, Python complex for complex numbers. These are the classes in Python. Firstly, integers. This value is represented by int class. It contains a positive or negative whole numbers without fractions or decimals. In Python, there is no limit of how long an integer value can be. Secondly, float. It is represented by float class. It is a real number with a floating point representation. It is specified by a decimal point. Optionally, the character small e or capital E followed by a positive or negative integer may be appended to specify scientific notations. Thirdly, complex numbers. A complex number is represented by complex classes. It is specified by a real part plus imaginary part. For example, minus 2 plus I, 2 plus 3i, 4 plus I are the example of complex numbers. Sequence data types in Python. The sequence data type in Python is an ordered collection of similar or different Python data types. Sequences allow storing of multiple values in an organized and efficient fashion. There are several sequence data types in Python: Python string, Python list, and Python tuples. Firstly, string data types. Strings in Python are arrays of bytes representing unique code characters. A string is a collection of one or more characters put in a single quote, double quote, or triple quote. In Python, there is no character data type. Yep. A character of a string is of length 1. It is represented by str class. List data type. Lists are just like arrays declared in other languages, which is an order collection of data. It is very flexible, as in terms of a list, it do not need to be a same data type. Tuple data type. Just like a list, a tuple is an ordered collection of Python objects. The only difference between the tuple and the list is that tuples are immutable. That is, tuples cannot be modified after it is created. It is represented by tuple class. Boolean data type in Python. Python data type with one of the two built-in values, true or false. Boolean objects that are equal to truth or truthy, those are equal to false or falsy. However, non-Boolean objects can be evaluated in the Boolean context as well as and determined to be a true or false. It is denoted by class bool. Set data type in Python. In Python data types, a set is an unordered collection of data types that is iterable, mutable, and has no duplicate elements. The order of elements in a set is undefined, though it may consist of various elements. Dictionary data types in Python. A dictionary data type in Python is an unordered collection of data values used to store data values like a map. Unlike other Python data types that hold only key value as an element, a dictionary holds key value pair. Key value pair is provided in a dictionary to make it more optimized. Each key value pair in a dictionary is separated by a colon, whereas each key is separated by comma. Functions in Python. A function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. You can pass data known as parameter into a function. A function can return data as a result. Creating a function. How to create a function? In Python, a function is defined using a keyword called def. Example, def my function of. Here def is used to define a function. My function is a function name followed by parenthesis and a colon. Printing of hello. We are giving a print message called hello and we get output as hello. Calling a function. To call a function, use function name followed by parenthesis. Example, def my function of colon. Here def is a keyword used to create a function. My function is a function name followed by parenthesis and a colon. And we are printing a message called hello. And below that my function of is a function name followed by parenthesis. This is how we call a function and the output as hello. Functions can be called in different ways. There are providing the mandatory argument only, providing one of the optional argument by giving all the arguments in a function. This is how we call a function. Types of functions. There are different types of functions: built-in functions, user-defined functions, recursive functions. Built-in functions. These functions are built into the Python language and can be used without the need of any additional code. Some of the examples of built-in functions are print of, len of, sum of, min of, max of, etc. User-defined functions. You can create these functions to perform a specific task. You can define your functions using a def keyword followed by function name, parameters, and the code block that performs a desired operation. Recursive functions. These functions can call themselves to perform a specific task repeatedly until the certain conditions is met. Recursive functions can be useful in the situations where a problem can be broken down into smaller subprograms. Exception handling in Python. What is an exception? An exception is defined as an event that occurs during the execution of the program and disrupts the normal flow of the program instructions. The reason for this event like exception could be attempting to divide a number by 0, accessing a non-existent file, and trying to convert a string value to an integer where it's not possible. An exception in Python object that represents an error. How to handle the exceptions? If you have some suspicious code that may arise an expression, you can define your program by placing the suspicious code in try block. After try block, include an except statement followed by a block of code which handles the program as elegantly as possible. The first one, the try block contains statements which are susceptible for exception. Second one, if the exception occurs, the program jumps to a except block. If no exceptions in the try block, the except block is skipped. Example of exception handling using try except concept. Try numerator is equal to 10, denominator is equal to 0. Result is equal to numerator by denominator. Printing of result. In except blocks, print error is equal to denominator cannot be 0. And hence, if we run this program, we get result as 10 divided by 0, which is an error, and we get output as error denominator cannot be 0. In the above example, we are trying to divide a number by 0. Here the code generates an exception. To handle the exception, we put the code result is equal to numerator divided by denominator inside the try block. Now, when an exception occurs, the rest of the code inside the try block is skipped. The except block catches the exceptions and the statements inside the except block are executed. If none of the statements in the try block generates an exception, now let's look into the program guess the number. Firstly, import random. Here random is used to generate a random number between 1 to 100. Number is equal to random.randint of 1 to 100. And setting the number of guesses initially to 0. So guesses is equal to 0. And we need to keep looping until the player guesses the number. While guesses is less than 6. Here 6 is the maximum number of guesses the player has. And to get the player's guess, initially guess is equal to int input of guess the number between 1 to 100, and to check if the guess is correct or not. If guess is equal to guess number is equal to the number, print you guess the number correctly, and breaking the loops and exit the loop, you you guessed in some amount of guesses and the number was random number. Or else uh, it goes to the else if block, guess number is less than number, and printing the statement as your guess was too low. Else print the message as your guesses was too high, and incrementing the number of guesses. Guess is equal to guess plus 1. If the player runs out of guesses, tell them they are out. If guesses is equal to 6, you are printing the message as you ran out of guesses and the number was a random number. This is how this code works, and let's run this code in the Google Colab.